Alright everybody, this is probably going to be the last video for this joust, but I'm going to do a lot of different things, small things to finish it up. One is I have new T-molding that I need to put on. I need to finish the button leaf switch install. I'm going to show that real quick. Let's see if I already have two of them in, but I'm gonna I only have one extra one, so we're gonna temporarily put a long button here with a leaf switch button holder, and I'm gonna show the screws that I got for it. And then also I have the replacement ribbon cable for the interface board, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace that as well. Waiting on some 9-pin, I think, Molex connectors for the soundboard. I'm going to repin that. And let's see, anything else? There might be a few other things, just like wrapping up little minor stuff. Adjusting the monitor. Somebody said they wanted to see something, a video using that mirror there for the adjustment. So we'll do that, adjust the monitor. So, all right, I'll try to be somewhat quick here. So basically, I didn't have any screws, obviously, for the correct mounting the correct leaf switch here, and so I took this screw out of my Stargate, and I did this afterwards. But I went to Home Depot to try to find the darn screw, and I couldn't find anything close. I did have this one, which is a little bit too big. And it wasn't, I could have made it work and threaded out the holes bigger. It looks like somebody actually did that to that one. But I didn't want to use the wrong screw, because obviously those two look quite different there, as you can see. So I picked this up at Amazon. It's from Stainless Town, and you can actually use it to measure the sizes of screws and stuff that you need. So basically it came into size 4. It's too big. Go into size 5. It fits. 6 is it's too small for that one. And this one that I was going to use is too big for a size 5. So we knew that we needed a size 5 screw. So went online and looked for something. Ended up getting this right here. Got like 50 of them, which is more than I needed. Cost me about $8, I think, shipped. And I got these bad boys, which are almost identical to what I need. So it's a round head, 1 inch long, number 5. The only difference between these two is that the thread is a little bit different. So the back of the thread pitch, the one that I got is a little bit finer and is around a 20 thread pitch versus like an 18, which is what the original, or at least what's in my Stargate, is around an 18. But anyway, so the thread pitch is a little bit different, but regardless, at least it's closer to the right size. So we can actually mount the switch in. The other thing is, and I read this on Bob Roberts' website, I'll try to put that in the video, but if you don't have short buttons, or if you don't have these type of leaf switches with the extra standoffs and stuff, you could get, maybe he suggested, a long button and use a regular switch holder, button holder. So I'm going to try that. We'll put that in go to the cabinet and try to put that in to see if it works. Alright, this reminds me, I also need to mount the light holders. So the first thing we're going to do is actually mount this switch over here. Goes like this. See if you can see that a little bit better. Put my new screws in there. These are 1 inch screws, number 5. I think you would want an 18 thread pitch, and it's a round head Phillips. And then I'm just going to hold it over. So this is the flat button, so that's why this one is most important, I guess. when I'm using an electric drill, I don't like putting too much torque on it. So just kind of, there you go. Alright, that's done. And then we're going to replace this Player 2 Start temporarily. This is the Arcade Shop reproduction, I guess, button, or close button. It's a short button. We're going to put a long button in there with a button holder and a POW nut. So unfortunately, I don't think they make a red translucent long button. Yeah, that's almost not long enough anyway. It is going to make contact at least, so not as good as that one. Oh, can't. Are you seeing? There we go. So, there we go. So like this is player 1, and you can see how it makes. Doesn't really matter for the start button. This one's going to make contact, but only at the bottom of the button travel. So good enough, but not perfect. And it's only going to be temporary, so negative goes up top. Whoever did put in, at least they saved me from having to solder by putting these little spade connectors on. There we go. Alright. And then this one, see that there? Again, negative just on top. Kind of loose. You definitely want to be careful because you don't want to break those tabs right there. And then I like to get a little card and then clean up the contacts real quick. Let me do that. Alright, so you can see that. I'm going to just put in my business card, press it down, clean it up a little bit. Same thing over here. Alright, so let's power the game on and then check to make sure it works. There we go, switch test. So come into switch test, press player 2, you can see it's an orange button now, which is not great. Player 2 start, and flap 2 is working. So. And then left, right, left, right. See, when it does that, to me, like if you press the button and it's like registering, unregistering, registering, probably switch contacts need to be cleaned. This one's not too bad, but if you press and hold it, it should be solid and maintain that connection. Alright, that's it. Right. So the buttons are close to being done. I need one more leaf switch and then I'll put the right translucent red back in for player 2. Alright, let's see here. Right there. See if I can keep that in the frame. I don't know. Got my desoldering gun. Make sure it's clear. Let's see if we can get this connector out. So we're gonna do it. Make sure we have the right orientation there. And I'm actually holding the trigger a little bit longer to make sure I try to get all the solder out. And remember, most of these traces are on the top side, so if it doesn't come out clean, we got to be really careful. Alright, see if we can get that off. See, it's freaking on there still. Damn, I was hoping we could just pull this thing off. And even with the screwdriver, you know, you risk kind of damaging stuff. So we're gonna have to do it the other way, I think, where we actually let's see here, yeah, where we heat up the pins and pull them out one by one. Let me pause real quick and get my pliers. So we're gonna have to kind of pull these pins out, heat them up one by one. Freaking super pain in the butt. So I won't film all of it. I'm just gonna take a couple of them out. Like that. So they're coming out, so just we'll be patient and take each one out. All right, you can see all the little things there. Got the connector out, and it eventually just pulled out. There, I think there's like 3 things left in there, but you just don't want to risk it. There's no real need to risk it at all. And so we're just going to stick it in this way. Make sure it's, you know, going the same direction as before. And then get some solder and solder this thing in there. I like having, you know, my hand underneath of it to apply some pressure to the very first couple. And tack them in kind of. And then we'll just go through and knock these out. I'm not going to film all this. I'll pause in a second, but obviously just and keep going. So I will pause and we'll get this done. All right, there's a close-up of it, so it's going to be like that. Usually it says this is pin 1 is over here, and I think usually red is pin 1, but it's kind of installed backwards on purpose, I guess. But yeah, it looks pretty decent. I did an okay job. All right, but the key thing there is just to, you know, not damage the top part. You're not going to save this old one, so just pull the darn pins out, you know, from the top side and heat up the bottom of the pin. So all right, got the interface board back installed. I need to order some extra screws, PCB holder screws. Seems like they're always missing. Put new T-molding on, and let's see. Yeah, I mean, the sides aren't great, obviously. I mean, this thing could definitely be restored, but it's going to look at least decent from the front. Mostly doing this while Patriots are crushing the hodgepodge video here. But I did get some 9-pin connectors in from Great Plains. So I'm going to remove, I'm actually going to cut the wire ties and just remove that harness real quick, that part of the harness, because I think it'll be easier instead of sitting here on my knees pinning it out to do it at my bench. So I will cut this out, and then it was pretty easy to actually. It was about like 5 twist zip ties to cut it out, and it is just a 1-for-1 header, so it's just going to be a lot easier to do it out of the cabinet. And got all my tools here, different kind of, you know, and I think it's always trouble for me. I don't know what gauge wire this is. I'm assuming that it's something, you know, that I have the right connectors, that it's higher than like 22. It's like 22 or 26 or something like that. So I haven't figured out how to determine that yet. But anyway, because you want to make sure you use the right gauge pins and stuff. So I'm not going to film everything. I might film a couple. All right, of them. So let's see if I can do this right. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to take one side. I put in my my little key in the same spot, and so I'm just going to, you know, cut this wire off. That's the key there, right? And then put it in the right spot. So cut one wire at a time. If I can find my cutters. All right, so I got my cutters. So we're just gonna, you know, cut one cable at a time, and then strip it. That's why I like these better. Alright, that's good. And then I'm probably only going to do one, so we're going to use the my crimpers that do both crimps at the same time. We're going to put it in the 24 to 30 gauge spot. and that went well. So actually I might zip tie this together so I don't like it being flopping around like that. And then it goes in this way. Just like that. So that's all I'm going to film, and then we'll keep knocking those out and then put it back in the cabinet. All right, I have them all set up here. So, but before we put them in the cabinet, we just, you want to test it and probe from the back side, do a continuity test, if you can see that, and just do that on each pin, like that. And I did it. They all test out good, so we know that we pinned it out and every pin's making contact. So we'll go ahead and put it back in the cabinet. Have it back in the cabinet. Actually, I don't know. I can't remember now. I have to go back and watch if I zip tied it back up. Very similar, but it's nice and tidy, and everything's working. So we're going. We got our sound 5, sound 6. All the sounds are working. So
what I was going to do is, because I had to use 2 connectors for that 15 pin, I got some extra 15 pins connectors, so I'm going to pull the pins on that power supply there, put in the key, and then reinsert. Yeah, I got that done. New 15 pin connector there, the right connector, also with the key. And when I ordered these new connectors from Great Plains, I actually got the right connectors for that type of Molex, which accepts whatever. So I keyed out that one there, and also the 5 volt right there, or the 512 minus 12, all that. Not minus 12. What is it? 5, negative 5, and 12. That's and ground. So I put all the keys in. So I think in the back of the cabinet we're all done. As far as everything's kind of tidy, and we're good to go. So let's see what else I have. All right. So getting back to this, I had picked up some lamp holders right here. I don't think these are exactly the right kind, but they hold the right size bulb and everything. And I got one other leaf switch, the Williams style leaf switch. Whoops, crap. But anyway, it's going to be noisy now. I'll come right back. So anyway, if you can probably hear that. Let's see. There's a high pitched whine coming from the monitor, so I'm going to have to screw with that as well. It's super annoying. But anyway, I had got the lamp holders, got the switch installed, the missing switch, reinstalled the button there, and I actually did put on, I had these for my pinball, I had these like flex LEDs, and that thing really works. And I'll show you maybe with a normal 44 volt here real quick. Number 44, let me see. Yeah, right there. That's a 44 volt, so I'll turn off the lights and let's look at it real quick. Crap. You can see, well, both of them look kind of illuminated. It's hard to tell on the camera, but this one is really illuminated. And so what I did is I actually had some flex cool white ones that I stuck over here for my blue buttons on my Robotron too. So I might clean these buttons up a little bit and try to adjust it. The number 1 isn't as bright, but I mean, it looks a lot better. Those flex LEDs really light up those translucent buttons. But I only have one over here, so I'm probably gonna do something different. The 44s aren't too bad. But I kind of have it positioned right over top of the button pretty much, to illuminate it as best I can. But definitely that's way better. Alright. And I always say alright when I come back. But anyway,
I ended up ordering a couple of these flex things, so I put the flex filters in there. Yeah, flex filters. I put the flexible LEDs in there, and let's see, they're both red. I think I'm done, actually. I know I said at the beginning, let's see if I can get this put up there. I know I said that I was going to work on the monitor and stuff, but eventually I will. Here we are. I finally got an additional flex LED to light the other button. All the original buttons are back in, or not the original, but the translucent buttons are in. The leaf switches, etc. So I'm not going to actually mess with the monitor right now. My eventual plan is to put this monitor in my Moon Patrol because it originally was out of a Moon Patrol. So I'm not going to mess with the monitor right now. And I was able to get it to stop squealing a little bit, which is kind of weird. I don't know what that is. But anyway, real quick shot of my Williams row. And so here we go. Bubbles. There's my Moon Patrol, Stargate, and definitely not least Robotron. And I have the LEDs in there as well, so it looks pretty decent. The only thing is Moon Patrol, I don't have the 6.3 volts because I'm not using the original power supply right now, but I will fix that eventually. So thanks for watching the Joust. It's fully functional and plays like a champ, so look forward to getting more time on this. Talk to you later. Cheers.